It's a well-known fact that women are very complex creatures and men find it very hard to understand them. Sometimes even women themselves don't know what they want, and I think that's why they get frustrated with themselves. Trust me guys, if we can't understand ourselves, then, well, there's sadly no hope for you. The dating world is no different. Trying to navigate yourself through the different stages of dating until you get into a relationship is difficult for anybody. But once you hit that sweet spot and you find yourself settling down, it all feels worth it. Have you ever been happy in your relationship and then all of a sudden you can kind of feel a tiny shift in the atmosphere and you are unaware of what has changed? Sometimes it could be a result of something that you've done, or sometimes it could happen completely out of the blue. Trying to figure out what you've done wrong when you think you've done nothing wrong is very frustrating. However, a woman will start to ignore you when she notices you doing things that you might not even notice that you are doing. A lot of women will start to pull away mentally before they decide to leave a relationship. And often men think that they are being so sneaky about things that it comes to them as a shock when they find out what's been going on and then they decide to ignore it. So if you think you've done no wrong but the girl that you are talking to is slowly starting to pull away, pay attention to these pointers and ask yourself, am I doing something wrong? Here we go, like and subscribe. The wandering eye. This might not be the typical, oh look at her gorgeous wandering eye that you think you're so slick at when you're doing it. It could be more of a discreet thing, a glance here or there when you're both out in public. A lot of women don't like it when guys like other girls' pictures on social media. They class that as having a wandering eye too, and giving any other female attention they should be reserved for that one girl that you are dating. This is a huge red flag for women. Once they start to feel like they compete with others, that's it, they will bow out and walk away. A lack of passion. If a girl has to drag passion and emotions out of you, eventually she's going to get bored of trying and walk away. Dating should be a two-way street, and if you're not putting in equal efforts of passion, then she's going to start putting in the effort too. And no, initiating sex is not the only way that you can show passion. It's not all about sex. It's about intimacy and feelings, all the stuff you're probably rolling your eyes at. If it feels like the only interest you have is sexual intercourse, I can guarantee you now that she will look somewhere else for this type of passion and connection that she wants. And once she's got it, there's no way that you can get her back. It'll be a little too late and, well, she'll be out the door. Zero effort. Nobody wants to feel like they're not wanted, and spending time with them is a chore. If you don't put effort into the person that you are dating, they are bound to feel like the last thing on your list of things to do. It's not a nice feeling, especially for girls who have feelings for you. They want to feel like you are excited to see them and to spend time with them just like they are with you. If the girl that you are dating normally texts you non-stop all day or calls you every time she has something to tell you, then you notice the texts start to slow down and the phone calls get shorter until she doesn't call anymore. Just know that it's probably because somebody else is texting her and putting in the effort to get to know her and to talk to her. So if you're not putting in any effort, she's going to assume that you don't share the same feelings as her, and she'll move on and find someone who will put in the effort to find out her favorite ice cream flavor or listens to how her day went. Friends' advice. This is probably the most common sign when it comes to girls and all of their girl talk. A lot of women listen to the advice of their friends when making decisions, even if their friends wouldn't follow the same advice. There's this stereotype of that girl who's a best friend who doesn't like her boyfriend. But if you've not made it to boyfriend level yet, then there's a high chance she's more likely to listen to her friend and cut you off before you can step up to the plate. Now, if you've done something wrong in the past and that's why the friend doesn't like you, then you know what, that's understandable. And as bad as it seems, you've got to lay in that bed that you've made. No friend wants to see their girlfriend go back to some guy who has hurt her before, because 9 times out of 10 she was the one who wiped her tears away and comforted her. However, sometimes girls can just decide they don't like their friend's guy for no reason and then start acting bitter towards them. This isn't fair, and hopefully it doesn't get out of hand so that you're not left on the curb for no reason. But if your girl slowly starts to ignore you, check with her friend if there is an issue. You don't give her space. If a woman feels like you are too clingy and too much, she will want to have some space to breathe. Now, this is common when a guy is excited after a couple of successful dates. He ends up texting her more often and trying to fill up every weekend with date plans. It even happens if you pair are not dating. So if you're trying too hard to win over her affection, she may get the ick. Some ways that guys ruin their chances is by constantly messaging her, being pushy with plans to see her, and hovering around a lot physically. She is angry. Most women will shut off emotionally if they feel their efforts have been unseen. Maybe you did something that upset her. Perhaps she made it obvious to you that your words or actions hurt her and you ignored it. If this is the case, you can expect her to create emotional distance between you both. She won't reply to your text messages as quick, and she finds many reasons to excuse why she didn't call you back. And you will find she lacks excited responses when you physically talk to her. A woman turns silent with a man when she feels hopeless about her emotional validation. So if you are experiencing this, the best thing for you to do is to say, I sense you are being distant, and I have to be honest and very transparent. I don't know why, but if you tell me exactly how you feel and what I can do to help, I will do just that and learn from this so that it does not happen again. She is not interested. This tip is for the guys that are not currently dating a specific lady. Maybe they have their eye on someone and they are trying so hard to get into this girl's good books. However, if you notice that you are putting in so much effort, you are sending her lots of messages, maybe you're sharing lots of memes and funny videos, yet she's not really that interested and she's creating so much space and ignoring you, this is your sign that she's not interested. Sometimes guys are so invested in someone else that they become very blindsided by actually the reality of what's going on. So if you notice that you are the one always sending messages and it takes her ages to get back to you, yet she's been online, she's ignoring you because she's not interested. Men tend to play the dumb card when things go south and then they come up with a "what did I do wrong" thing. Sometimes you haven't done anything wrong, things just haven't progressed through no fault of either party. Maybe you just haven't gelled together, and as time has passed, she has decided to pull away and not waste any more time on a situation that doesn't benefit either side. However, as highlighted above, there are different reasons why a woman would start to ignore you. Some reasons are more common than others, something like listening to their friends' advice and deciding to distance themselves. For a lot of women, they don't like to compete with other women for a man's attention, so as soon as something starts to feel like a race or a competition, they will bow out. Hopefully though, these points will have you second guessing what you are doing and how your actions are being read by a woman. And you can decide if you want to nip it in the bud and stop the doubts in her head and put in the effort, or if you want to play the field and kind of carry on.